Hey everybody. Whew. Sorry for being a little late. It's what happens when you get talking and you forget to look at what time it is. All right. Hi, I want to introduce myself. I realize I've probably been forgetting to do that on several videos, so let me do that. Hi, I am Brenda Sellers, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Knoxville, Tennessee. I have been Stampin' Up! This time around since 2019, so 6 years, a little over 6 years. Um, I absolutely enjoy playing with my stamps, my paper, my ink. I love rearranging my craft room. In case you can't tell by some of the background, it's been rearranged again. So hoping to try to get things a little closer to the workstation and that kind of thing. So I just absolutely, um, I like all things about crafting, whether it's paper crafting, which is making cards or scrapbooking, or I've got yarn over there. I do a little bit of diamond dots. Um, I like to say I'm a little bit of a collector. So I like crafting. I I like the peace that it brings. I like the friendships that it brings. So that's why I like paper crafting so much. And speaking of that, I'm going to show you a product that it seems that the stamp set might not be available right now, but it will be. So keep checking back soon. We're going to play with a brand new product that's already sold out once. And let's make a couple of cards and go from there. And while I'm doing that, I'll talk about the other things that are going on in the life of Brenda. Um, Let me share a couple of cards. Let me share the screen, find that little box so I can share my screen and let you see some of the lovely cards that I've received recently. And one I am absolutely positively just blown away. My friend Jeannie Kidd made this card, and I told her I was going to shout out about it. So, Jeannie, if you're watching, this is for you. The first one I'm going to share is your card. I am gushing about it to everybody I talk about cards. So you ready to see the card Jeannie made? Let's get a better background so there is nothing distracting from it. Oh, let's cover up those lights. So there might be a little bit of distraction. Look at this, y'all. That says, "You are awesome. Life is better when you're crafting." Amen to that. But look, there's a little paper pumpkin box. There's a paper trimmer right there. There's the current catalog. I'm blown away. And I love the textiles on this. That's the plaid embossing folder that's still current. This paper, I'll have to look and see what stand or what suite that's in, but or paper pack. I think I know. But didn't she do such a great job? We were doing an event where we were just basically swapping card fronts. This is what Jeannie made. I'm in love. That thing might wind up in a little picture frame hanging on the wall in here, I'm telling you, to keep the dust off of it, because we know that my room gets a little dusty. So I'm going to set that right up here so I can look at it for encouragement tonight. And then I got this one from another friend. Her name is Chris Colley. It is part of a paper pumpkin kit that she has revamped and done. And look at the little splatter detail, the butterflies. I love that set. All right. And then this one came from my friend, Chris Bauer. And look at those little guys. He wiggles and jiggles, and he's got sparklies on the popcorn. So that's really buttered popcorn. And this is the circle dots embossing folder. Isn't that cute? I love the little guy who wiggles and jiggles. All right. There's the three of the cards that I've gotten recently. So I'm going to just lay them close. And then we'll turn that back over so we can keep our mess on this side. All right, where is the stamp set? It's hiding. Here's the stamp set, Charming Day. I pulled that up on the Stampin' Up website, and I think it's the stamp set that's out, but let me double check. If it's the stamp set that's out, I'm telling you, that is not normal. It's usually the dies. So let's see. 166, 126. It's coming. Currently unavailable. It is the stamp set that is currently unavailable. Can you believe that? I am shocked. But it's part of the Floral Charms Suite collection. And in that collection, when it becomes available again, because the our cling stamp isn't available, it has the stamp, the pretty paper that we're going to play with, some embellishments, some ribbon, and dies. So if you want that, or you want the bundle, the stamp set and the dies, you can go on the Stampin' Up website and have it send you an email when it becomes back in stock. So that's how that works. All right, let's click back over here and let's make some cards. So we're going to use this stamp set. The dies are still packed from my weekend away. We are going to use some of this pretty paper. And every time I say pretty paper, that country song pops into my head. Pretty ribbons of blue. Yes, I'll keep my day job. I do much better at it. I just wanted you to see this paper. Isn't it gorgeous? All right. So let's use part of this one. Oh, got a piece of it out. Let's use part of this one. And then we may use might just use the back side of that. Isn't that pretty? All right. That's got us some choices. Choices. But first, let's make, trying to think, what do we want to make? Cards, obviously. Here's my paper trimmer. It did not get to move. This little trusty tool has to stay right close because it's my little workhorse. All right, let's use this one first. Stuff is falling. So we need some colors that coordinate with that. So like you know, on the back of the pack, it tells you what colors coordinate. Let's have a whole pack over there. So I pulled some of them off of the shelf behind me. So there's Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Pretty Peacock, and Timid Tiger. Those colors are all in that paper pack. So in this piece, we see those two colors. So I'm going to use those two colors. You guys get to lay back over there. You get to lay there. I believe this is going to be our card base. Lay that under there. So this is going to get scored at 4 1/4. And I always score the larger sheets, the full-size sheets. That way I can make 2 cards with it if I wanted to. All right, and then we're going to cut it at 5 1/2 on the 11-inch side. And I always pull my cutting blade down to the bottom and push up so that these are against the straight edge and it's not going side goggle. Yes, that is a technical term, side goggle or Willy Wonka, or not Willy Wonka, wonk-eyed, wonky, whatever. So there's that card base. Then I'm going to cut this Mossy Meadow. Stop making up words, Brenda. And cut it at 5 1/4. Layers by 4. And I'm going to grab a pretty, see, I could use that whole sheet right there. I think I will. But I also want to emboss. I think I'm going to leave this one like this. So let's cut this. That's 4 inches by 5. Because you're just trimming off 1/4 inch all the way around. Lay right there. And then, because that's not white, I'm going to go grab some Very Vanilla cardstock. Actually, hang on, different color. Very Vanilla would work, or you could use Basic Beige. And I've got, oh, Basic Beige it is. Basic Beige it is. And a punch. Labeled with love, punch. I need to, well, first we need to make sure that our sentiments are going to fit in that. We can do Happy Birthday is too large. This one might be too big too. Nope. That'll work. That will work. And I'm going to stamp it in Blackberry Bliss. Try not to wiggle anything, but my ink is right up here above me now. I always turn my punches over so I can see where it's at. And because I kind of want that right in the middle, I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. All right. And a block. Don't have to run for those anymore. I need to clean my blocks. Got a little haircut because it didn't clip good. I think this card is going to go to my parents. There we go. And I'm going to clean that off with the Stampin' Scrub. I feel like this cleans our red rubber stamps a little bit better. I'm going to spray it towards me so it doesn't get any water on my cardstock over there. I feel like this cleans the red rubber stamps better than the Stampin' Chamois does. All right. And go right there. That's a perfect little edge. That shouldn't really be there. And now I need to find the ribbon that went with that. It's in this here. Yeah, don't want that. I'll use this Basic Beige. You notice the stuff behind me. I hope that you're not paying attention to that too much, because it is still a process of cleaning this room and putting things away from being at the farmhouse last week. Had a great time. And speaking of the farmhouse, I'll be sending out an email soon with more dates, and you are welcome to join us if there's space available. The farmhouse will host a total of 12 crafters. However, one of those spaces is mine, so it'll hold 11, and I've already got one person who wants it, so 10. Actually, there's more than one that wants it. So as soon as I send out the invitation to sign up for it, it's going to be a retreat that I'll be hosting. So you'll get your accommodation. You will get your 6-foot table space, your own bed to sleep in. You may have to share a room, but we will partner you with a friend if you and a friend come. And food is included. And you'll get a Stampin' Up! Goodie bag. And 4 to 6 projects. Dimensionals. There's the one I used in the picture the other day. Not done. So let's put a ribbon around this and then we'll put these on. And it's just a great time. It's a time to get away and relax. You can bring your own projects to work on. You can work on the projects that I'm going to provide at your leisure, as long as you get them done before the weekend. And honestly, if you just stamp it and take it, you can do that too. This ribbon is so soft. And look, it ties really good. I'm in love. Where are my scissors? They are hiding in one of the totes. I know they are. So we're just going to have to make do with paper snips that don't cut this very well. All right. And fold this little guy in half. This little one goes on front. Let me know if all of this mess on this grid paper bothers you. If it does, I will try to make sure I have clean ones. But I also like to use what's there so that I'm not wasting too much paper. And some of these little sparkly embellishments. Charming shimmer faceted, so they all say charming. The Charming Day dies are available. The stamp set is not currently, sorry. But you see where my stamp rocked a little bit? Let's show you how to fix that. Boink, and you don't even see it anymore. And this one is going to go right here because I feel like there's a little spot there. There's 2. Let's throw one more on there over here. There we go. And that kind of dresses up that little tag. And they're kind of flat. They're not real pumped up or bumpy, so they'll go through the mail real good. Let me grab a piece of basic beige to go on the inside. I'm gonna make a couple of cards. We'll just cut a big piece. And go over here, over here. 5 1/4. Five 4. Do it one more time because we know we're going to use it. Now we could stamp on that. We could put one of those little flowers hand side. Let's do that. Block. Block in that one. Where are my box of blocks? I found it. Another demonstrator friend that I watch sometimes, if she loses something and then she hollers finds it, she tells everybody to take a sip of whatever they're drinking. So if you need a drink, now's the perfect time to take a sip because I found my blocks. I'm gonna probably clean them during a meeting in just a minute with a little bit of alcohol. Hey, let's put some of that in each corner. Squirrel. And tap, tap, tap on your ink pad. Don't smash it. All right. And then I'll clean that one. If you have some designers, actually, if you, oh, not nice. Where it's stamped off on the paper, looky there. And now I've got adhesive on that. It gives it an extra little thing. I'm going to put that towards the bottom and I can write over it. And I'll apologize to my mama. But be careful, if you stamp off on your grid paper and you flip your paper over on it, you might get a little outline. All right, there's one. Not my finest moment. All right, you can lay right there. Let's flip this over so we don't do that again. And that one's gonna go in the trash when we're done. Recycling, actually. All right, next piece. We're done with Blackberry Bliss. Let's use Timid Tiger. Score it at 4 1/4, because that is half of 8 1/2. Scoring blade is the lighter color. Cutting blade is the dark one, and I tend to keep it on the top, like first. If I were grabbing, it's my first one. All right, now cut that. And I want another color with that. Let's see what this looks like. We're going to use that. That is at 5 1/4. So let's cut it at 4. There. And actually, I think I'm going to emboss that one. Cut this at, I'm going to cut it at 3. That I'm doing some math in my head. So it's an inch shorter. Okay. So 4 1/4. And that gives it that. And I think I'm gonna lay it on there and we're gonna emboss. I think. Lots of thoughts going through my head. Let's cut this. Now some of that poking out from behind it. Let's do that. Let's cut that one too. 3 1/4. No, that's too small. Needed to be 4 1/4. Woo. You guys, you can't hang off the side over there. Actually, let's do this. There and there. And let's put, because that one feels a little busy to me. Which way do we like it? And then put our sentiment in the middle. I think I like that. All right. And we're gonna say thanks for being you. And I believe that one will fit in this. And we are going to stamp with Timid Tiger. And let me show you what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to take that chance again. Let's roll this over, lay this down. It's got ink on it. Got our flower. Cleaned off. Tap, 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 not smash. Perfect. Just stacking my ink pads there. I'll put them up when we're done. I like that. Okay. All right, let's put those down with some adhesive. It's amazing what happens from the seat of your pants. We've got about the same margins. This one's going to be this color up, so let's put adhesive on the Timid Tiger side. About the same margins. Some of our pretty basic beige ribbon. Hope that you guys had a great weekend. We did. The chickens are going to get a new home again, which is an old home with an outdoor ability to go outside, but they're going to be protected. They have not moved in yet. That's a slow process. Trying to figure out what we want to use for bedding on the floor, that kind of thing. Found my scissors while I was looking for my blocks. These are my ribbon scissors, because one little chirp and they're cuts it really smooth and doesn't leave it fraying. All right, let's fold this. Isn't it fun to just create? Feel free to sign into your Google account so you can chat with me. And also like and subscribe my channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate each and everyone who does that, and especially if you share any of the videos with any of your friends. Pulled an extra one off. Here's my little Carol cup, so I don't have to stretch towards the recycling. I got ahead of myself, so I'm gonna have to lay this upside down for a second or on the silicone mat. Oh, I was talking about the farmhouse again, and those dates are October 23rd through October 26th. If you can't come the whole weekend, but you could come like Friday through Saturday or Sunday, we can work on that too. But I would like to fill us up again the whole weekend. That was a great time. Totally enjoyed it. Isn't that pretty? And then this just kind of helps pull in some of the Timid Tiger. Going to use some of the Timid Tiger gems. Let's just put them right here. One. I don't want them to get lost on the designer series paper, otherwise known as pattern paper. Isn't that cool? And then fold you over here. Timid Tiger on our basic beige. Got it right there. This pretty little flower. Hadn't cleaned it yet. All right. Before I flip it over, I'm going to put that ink side down. I'll wipe it off the glass mat. Now we can turn it over without any halos. Tonight I'm not leaving any naked insides. You could even stamp on your envelopes. All right, there are two. Shall we make one more? Let's use some pretty peacock and let's use this as a card base because we already got it cut. And we're going to use this. All right, behave down there. So this gets cut. I'm going to cut it at 5 1/4. By 4. This little pretty paper is going to get cut at we're going to be able to see. Let's do 3. That's 4. Let's do 3 inches. And then we're going to do 4 1/4. So it'll go like that. And I'm going to go use the mini corrugated embossing folder on that. One moment. Oh, and I forgot where that. Hold on. I think it's right here. With all of its block friends. Yes. so I can see I got a little light over here. Always run your embossing folder through Hinge first. Look at this. Isn't it cool? And that's what it did. All right, let's fold this. These guys on. I'm going to do it at an angle because I like that. And because it has lots of little grooves on it, I'm using liquid glue. And I may just use that when I put it on the card front too, but we're not there yet. All right, guys, and if you're still watching, thank you. I'm going to turn this into a card class to go. So if you want the 3 projects that I'm making tonight and the stuff to make it, the 3 projects, you'll get the consumables, place an order of $35, and I'll send you this to your home in the mail. I will watch to see what orders come through between now and Monday, July the 14th. And if you place a $35 order or more, I will send you the material to make these 3 cards. The consumables. I can't send stamped images because that's a Stampin' Up thing. Scissors. Long side. I always get this confused. That's wrong. That's too steep. There we go. Slide it over here. Add a little color on that side and down. And now it's ready for the card front. It really makes those pretty deep, actually. And it feels just like the corrugated stuff on a cardboard box. Let's put some on that ribbon. And I just put my finger right in that. Oh, the joys. Kevin, this is why I don't like glue. Green glue is not my friend sometimes. Let's grab a Kleenex and wipe that off. All right, now sentiment. Let's say I'm just going to go back with thanks for being you. And I need another piece of basic beige. Scrap. It's too thin. That one will work. I keep my scraps in little plastic pouches in the same holder that my large cardstock is in, because then I find it faster. And my basic white has its own drawer because I use so much basic white. All right, let's find Pretty Peacock. Clean these little ones off. Let's go ahead and stamp that. I was lucky the last time because I didn't measure. All right, stamp this. And remember, if you're placing an order, you'd get your benefits like Stampin' Rewards, and it starts at $20. So that's pretty cool. Yay, I like that. Dimensionals. I always go in some kind of row, whether it's diagonal or straight but it's always a row. I can't pull them out of the middle. That just, And somebody says 4 is probably overkill. Probably need 2 on that, but I like to make sure it stays in place. And which color? Let's use this soft one. Another big one right here. One on each side. All right, let me move all of our fun stuff and show you the 3 cards we created tonight. There's number 3, number 2, and number 1. I hope that you enjoyed it. I love this pattern paper too. Like ridges on a potato chip. Yep, they are definitely like ridges on a potato chip. And speaking of Miss Melissa, happy birthday. So there's the basic beige ribbon that is so easy to tie, so pretty. And then that paper is fast becoming one of my favorites. All right, let me stop the screen share. If I can find the mouse. All right, if you don't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to join my newsletter, which is also in the comment section under this video. And look for emails coming soon about the farmhouse in October. I think it's going to be a fun time. It's October in the mountains. We're very close to the Smokies, and you can see them in the distance. You can see them while you're driving there. It's a beautiful place to be. It's not too far out from civilization, actually, not far at all. And it's just south of Knoxville, and we have a great time, a great group of ladies. I've never had a bad time at the farmhouse. Let's just put it that way. All right, thanks for watching. I hope that you have a great week. Please go do something fun for yourself, like my friend Katie Carson, who makes soap, says. And she gives you a list of things that you can do, but most importantly, do something fun for you, something that helps you relax, something that helps take your mind off of the daily grind for a little bit. Have a great week, and I'll see you again.